Bill Panoff here for Porthole Cruise Magazine. You know, these past few weeks marked a shift in the tide of a number of islands and destinations that began to reopening for business, Jamaica being one of the first to reopen for tourism. The island has been working around the clock to ensure health and safety protocols are in place for the locals and, of course, for the tourists who love the island as much as I do. I'm thrilled to be joined today by the Minister of Tourism of Jamaica, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett. Mr. Bartlett, pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you very much. But Bill, I just wanted to make a correction. I'm now a chair of the first ever Global Resilience and Crisis Management Center, which is located here in Jamaica at the University of the West Indies. And I think that a particular entity came at almost a prophetic moment, only 2 years before this pandemic. So,
Jamaica opened to visitors in mid-June. How has health and safety precautions evolved since the reopening?
Well, we've opened a bill against the background of the management of an unknown, as we all have. And protocols have been the way science has said we should operate in order to mitigate and to minimize the risk of A, having the infection, and B, the spreads. So that's what we've been doing. And Jamaica developed perhaps the most comprehensive set of protocols, which attracted the World Travel and Tourism Council's Safe Travel certification. So we have been managing on the basis then of the science and the data. We use the whole process of screening as a key part of the first element of the cover. And that screening, we use technology to assist us in. First of all, we established and developed what I think is the first global app, which we call the Jam COVID app. And on that Jam COVID app, we have two platforms. The platform for the Jamaican who is returning, for repatriation, if you will, and then the Visit Jamaica app, which is for the international visitors. And so a series of questions are asked of the traveler. And on the basis of that, it gives us information concerning their state of health and also their exposure to the virus. And then when they arrive at our airport, we do a secondary screening, starting, of course, with the temperature checks, and then another set of information, and then finally testing, the PCR test. So that's the cover that we have until you arrive. Then when you are in Jamaica as an international visitor, you are directed to the first, again, and I think it's an innovation on the part of Jamaica, we established a resilient corridor. And this area is a piece of geography that is bounded by the highway from Negril to Port Antonio. And it covers all the tourism assets that are on the windward side along that highway. Incidentally, that's about 85% of the assets that we have. So all the beaches are there and now much of the attractions. And so what we do is when you're tested, you then go to your hotel and you stay within the properties, and then you get your result. And if you're positive, then of course you're taken to be isolated and quarantined. And if you're not negative, you can enjoy yourself at your hotel until you're ready to leave. So that's where it's at in terms of the 1, 2, 3 about how we're managing that.
The app, I think, is a first. I haven't heard any other island doing that app, and what a terrific way to gather information, you know, before the visitor actually even arrives in Jamaica. Hats off to you for that. During the pause in tourism, many countries and islands have sought to restructure and reevaluate systems of tourism, upgrading initiatives such as green initiatives or public transportation. Can you talk about how Jamaica has responded to that?
Well, what we've done is to make all our tourism assets become COVID compliant. And so we start with that. We start with ensuring that the sanitation requirements and the spacing and density issues are all taken care of. The issue of sustainability becomes a big part of that too.
Sure.
The discussion on green tourism is perhaps less focused at the moment, in all fairness, because
Sure.
the
Sure.
emphasis has been on COVID security measures. It has been about
Sure.
health measures by and large, right? And so, but what we focused on is resilience. We focus a lot on building capacity to bounce back, to come back from this pandemic, and also the capacity to thrive afterwards, to enable us to manage and to thrive. So
Sure.
you forgive me if in real terms, we have not spent a lot of time on the sustainability side in terms of, climate change issues and the green tourism specifications, but we do have spent a lot of time on making our destination COVID secure, or resilient, COVID resilient. That's a better term, in fact.
Right.
And
Right.
yes, because secure is a little difficult in an unknown situation.
Right.
But resilient, yes, because it's building our capacity to respond and to bounce back after it's over.
Sure. Cruising is set to return in the winter, the last report. Do you anticipate the date being extended? And how will you prepare for cruising? What will be different on the island? What will the visitors see when they step foot in Jamaica that is completely different post-COVID?
All right. Well, first of all, just to let you know, we are very distressed that cruise is not back, because
Sure.
cruise
Sure.
plays a very important part
Absolutely.
in the economy of our communities, particularly the cruise centers like Ocho Rios and Falmouth in particular,
Sure.
where we have the largest port in the region, as you know. So
Sure.
cruise is very important to us. So we have spent a lot of time to thinking through protocols, and I think our cruise partners pretty much know very well what Jamaica's requirements are in terms of our health protocols. We had an interesting interchange at the early stages of the disease, as you know, and I think that we all have come out of it a better understanding of what is required on our respective parts. So
Sure.
Jamaica is looking to making our ports of call COVID secure, and all the necessary gadgetry for sanitation and for testing and so on will be at our port of call. We may not be able to go through to do a test for every passenger. That would be impossible, as you know.
Sure.
So I think science is emerging with technology that allows for a better appreciation of the state of health of our passengers and visitors. So we are going to be utilizing as much of that as possible. But there's something else that we're trying to do, which we hope will be of greater value to our visitors even, is that we're trying to create an insurance cover that will allow every visitor who comes into Jamaica to have medical support, and when tested, if they are positive, they have the options to be repatriated immediately. And all of that, hopefully, that they could pay for ahead of coming to Jamaica, so that the whole process becomes seamless. So just to indicate, we're well advanced in discussions with international logistics entities that have this capability to enable an insurance cover and a medical cover and a repatriation possibility.
Got it. And in closing, for those travelers that have never been to Jamaica and are looking for a Caribbean vacation, why should Jamaica be on the top of their list?
Well, Jamaica is absolutely God's gift to the world. You recall that when he made the world after 7 days, he just wasn't satisfied. So he made Jamaica on the 8th day. So we're special. The fact is that Jamaica's endowments are known. Of geophysical features are absolutely delightful, but it's the people. It's all about the Jamaican people. It's about our food. It's about our music. It's about our attitude. It's about just the way that we interact and the way we make you feel special. So coming to Jamaica is really to anticipate the most special experience that you could hope for. And I promise you, we never disappoint.
I used to work for cruise lines years ago as a cruise director, and I used to come to Ocho Rios literally every week. So I think I knew every resident in Ocho Rios, and I must
Well, you
tell you
need to
that
come
people,
again.
I know, believe me, I will
You
be
need to
there.
come again and see what with COVID or post-COVID looks like. I mean, certainly I would love to invite you to come, especially now with COVID. So
I
you get a
accept.
sense, yes. The way we will be afterwards, we are not even sure, but we know what we are now, and we are happy with what we are to enjoy, to present for you an opportunity to enjoy. So come on down and do it again.
Well, one thing that will not
Make it
change.
Jamaica again. Make it Jamaica again.
One thing that will not change post or pre-COVID is the friendliness and the warmth and the passion of the people. I mean, it's just unparalleled. You know, I love Jamaica. I have a great connection there. And I thank you so much for your time,
Thank
the
you
Honorable
Bill.
Edmund Bartlett, for joining us for this interview for Porthole Cruise Magazine. I wish you well, and I hope to see you soon on the island so we can have not only a red stripe, but a Blue Mountain coffee together.
Absolutely. And I give you a little piece of jerk something.
There you go. I'll hold you to that. Okay. All the best.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. Okay.
Bye now.
Bye for now.